Hello, I'm Grimgrindle and welcome to this video. Well, a lot of you seem to enjoy the Witch v Witch challenge, so I figured it's about time we made another challenge, but made it about 100 times more difficult. And so without any further ado, welcome to Bots and Drones. Or maybe Drones and Bots, I'm still debating as to which sounds better. Quite simply, the challenge of this series is to beat challenges within Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts with a Jiggy score or better, but only through use of a vehicle being controlled by the remote control glitch. Meaning that any objective within the challenge has to be achieved not by the part of your vehicle with a driver's seat, but the part of your vehicle being controlled entirely remotely. I'm not going to be providing grim builds on these vehicles because most of them are based on each other. It would be a pain in the butt to edit, and really most of it would just be me adding a part, trying it out on the challenge failing miserably, and then me removing a part to add another one. But I will make sure to add a layer by layer for any vehicle I use to successfully pass a challenge at the end of any challenge I pass successfully, for if you want to just reuse that one. And if you don't want to simply reuse my vehicle to try the challenge and want to instead build a vehicle of your own, then I suggest you check out my Builder's Guide to Nuts and Bolts on remote control glitches to really just explain the mechanics behind the glitch. And so to get on with it, the first challenge in Bots and Drones is Great Balls of Fire, because both Bangers and Dash and Tick Tick Bang don't allow custom vehicles, and so you're unable to use a remote control glitch in them. This challenge took me an extremely long amount of time to complete, and the amount of different variations of vehicles I tried out on it, and the different techniques I attempted is utterly staggering. One thing I quickly found out while attempting this challenge is that my claim in the Builder's Guide to Nuts and Bolts on remote control glitches, that you can still use items attached to your vehicle while disconnected, was almost entirely complete and utter hogwash. I made that claim because while doing the video, both the balloon and the self-destruct worked completely perfectly. However, unfortunately, pretty much every single other part has either proved completely unreliable or just doesn't do anything at all, so I guess I have to rescind that claim. Which is rather unfortunate because I hope to do this challenge with a drone using a sticky ball, but the sticky balls really only seem to work when they decide to, and a similar issue cropped up when attempting to use the sucker blows. And so I eventually decided to keep it relatively simple, and instead of using a complex drone with all sorts of gadgets on it, just instead went for a remote control car. So the first thing I began doing while doing these challenges is to immediately pause the game and assign what parts are linked to what action buttons. This is because the game can get confused about what action buttons are linked to what, and sometimes there can be two parts connected to the same action button, which becomes a real issue if the button to unfold your folding propeller is also the button to disengage tow bars. So just pausing the game to properly assign it really saves a lot of trouble afterwards, and you don't lose any time at all because the game is of course paused. I basically attempted to begin the challenge with having my vehicle knock the first flaming ball off the top of a mound, and then engage my propeller to take that mound as where to store my remote control. This is because this mound gives a good perspective of the entire course, and also it's not very far, because while you're driving a controller, the vehicle is also moving, and so you don't want to go too far because it is shockingly easy to lose sight of your vehicle, and then, well, you're pretty much just absolutely screwed at that point. As you can see, I had a fair bit of trouble getting up and over this mound. It's more difficult than it looks, I swear, and eventually decided instead to go around. You see, the main issue with the controlling is you're controlling from the perspective of your vehicle, not the vehicle you're actually remote controlling. So you sort of by default keep forgetting that left is left for that vehicle, not left from where you are. It's really hard to explain, but once you try the challenge yourself, you'll definitely see what I mean. So once that horrendously embarrassing struggle with getting over a small mound was dealt with, I managed to get the first of the firing bolts into the water, and turned around once more across the river in order to knock the second one in. You'll probably notice that I didn't wait for the bolt to actually roll in or even award me the point, which is probably a testament to how many times I had to do this that I got to the point that I was just able to tell if it was going to get into the water or not. Getting back across the river the second time was considerably less difficult, and, well, since I was going in the direction anyway, I decided to run the second flaming bowl over to the second river, rather than turning around and going in the opposite direction. And as you can tell at this point, the vehicle is pretty far in the distance, and also there's the invisible issue of it getting pretty close to broken. From my previous experiences with this vehicle in this challenge, it's around about when going for the third bowl that the aerial is likely to break off, so I was really starting to run out of time. Because I'm an elderly man with failing organs, I was having a lot of trouble seeing that far in the distance, and so despite quickly running out of time, I decided to engage the propeller once again and move my remote to the next mound in order so I could actually see what was going on. Once this repositioning was done, it was just a matter of running my vehicle up the hill, which actually was surprisingly easy considering my failure earlier across the river, and driving the flaming bowl down from the summit towards the beach. Essentially, as soon as I managed to connect it front on, I knew I had probably succeeded because the front of my vehicle has a little bit of a curvature in order to lock the ball in place, and also because I had that wonderful thing known as gravity on my side. But that doesn't make good television, so I once again re-enabled the propeller in order so we could get some visuals of it. And so there you have it, the first of the Bots and Drones challenges, Great Balls of Fire, completed within a jiggy time. It's definitely a very difficult challenge, and if you've passed the game and are looking for more things to do in it and a different way to play it, it's certainly a fresh take on the way to play the game. And since it's done using a glitch, you'll probably sometimes find some weird stuff, like this point when during one of the tests the screen got a weird green tinge to it. I don't know why, maybe it was to do with water, but I honestly have no idea. If you want to try this challenge yourself using the same vehicle I did, what's going to follow now is the layer by layer of it, but of course, as I mentioned, this is just one of very many variations in very many attempts, so you will notice there's things on the vehicle that I don't use and are positioned badly and don't really do anything, and that's just because it was something I tried out and abandoned the idea but left on the vehicle. So, with all of that said and done, as always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this new series, and until next time, I have been and still am Grim Grindle, and you have been watching Bots and Drones Challenge 1 Great Balls of Fire.
Thank you.